It's this false confidence, is this sense of false truths. It's a pray that we never have to get to that point. However, some people already feel that they're there. So, Eris and Chiron in Aries 23 and 25 this week, for this whole week. Hello, hello. This is G. You're watching Allastrology, the week of April 21st, 2025, and the following 7 days. April 21st, following 7 days, we've got Saturn up there with the North Node. We've got Jupiter on the screen. We've got Venus at a critical degree this week. We have Uranus moving to 26 degrees this week. We have Pluto and Mars making contact this week. There's kind of a lot here. We also have Mercury doing something. We'll talk about what that something's going to be when we get there. So backing it all up, there's, did I mention the elephant in the room? I didn't. Time to mention the pink elephant, people. It's obvious by now, right? And I'm speaking especially to those of you who are watching who are in the United States. You're with me. I'm in the US too. And whether you know it or not, yeah, it's time to stand up and to fight the oligarchs for real. Now, that's all I'm going to say about that. And I'll reference why this is on here when I get there. Venus at 29. Right? Venus is going to get there. And if we look closely here, we see she's at 26 to start the week off. So the beginning of this week is intense. But intense maybe might not be the perfect word, but look at all of the energy at 26. And what does 26 mean? I said it meant something, right? Okay, 26 is going to be desires, money, desires, values. That's 26 degrees. So we think of income, how I'm making income, how I receive. This can be love. This can be desires in terms of my love connection and, ooh, I want that person type of thing. Or the desire for wealth, the desire for power. Pisces energy, it needs some sort of an outlet from reality. Okay. So with Venus here, conjunct the North Node, it's a focus on the future. And the future of what? Long-term tangible security. And it's with Pisces, so this is globally this is going on. Yeah, we know. We've already been hearing all the news, and if you've been watching my videos, we've been talking about this global reshuffle for months and months and months, a global reshuffle. And it's I'm going to say here that one of the major keywords of Pisces that I don't think it's talked about enough is understanding and knowing what your boundaries are and feeling isolated. And that could be establishing my boundaries. Therefore, somebody else, they might feel a bit of isolation. And so this kind of plays into politics, present day, right? I'm recording this. This is like March, the beginning of March that I'm recording this. And it's been chaotic as hell. There's with the Pisces wishy-washy energy, remember, it's flexible, it's mutable, it changes his mind like the wind. It's for the show must go on, but you're never going to know what the truth is. But the characters behind backstage and reading the scripts and having conversations are nothing like they are when they're on the screen, when they're on the stage. It's very different. The sun's already gone through Aries and is full on in Taurus energy. So the money thing is really big. Venus rules this. You see, Isis is here conjunct the sun, an authority figure. And Isis talks about the past and the wounds. And this authority figure the Pisces energy says it's helter-skelter. Anything goes. And this is spot on. So for this week, knowing what's going on over there in Taurus now, and did I also mention that this Uranus is at 25 right now on this day? That matters because 25 is representing a kickoff, a start. It's taking action. This is an authority figure. Okay. This is values. This is money. This can be Bitcoin and crypto. This can be anything with tech and money and income, right? So new, different, unconventional forms of money. But things that would be considered disruptive, probably high risk, right? Because it's Uranus energy. And so 25 degrees a kickoff point. Uranus is at 25, which is a new beginning. And that matters because we're looking here at what is beginning, what's new. This Venus about banking and money and finances, but Pisces is foreign. It's foreign money. Where's the foreign money going? Right? Is there any more money connected with the United States and other countries? Also, remember, when we think Jupiter, judges. So, judges stepping up and having a say about something. Uranus on the 25th, goes to 26 degrees. You see? Shocks and surprises and disruptions. Unconventional. This has never been done before. I'm rebellious. I can break the rules. It's group energy too. So that's a signal for us as people who are here in the States and who give a damn about their country. If you care about your country, that 25 degrees in Uranus is, we're pissed. We're going to revolt. We're going to do something. Now, April 25th to the 27th, I said from the 23rd to the 27th, the same with this Uranian energy, gets a little wonky because it gets to the critical. So it becomes this strong connection. The South Node at 26, money, right? 26, money. Virgo is jobs, okay? It's jobs. And the connection between Virgo and Pisces is a lot of the farmers, a lot of the harvesting, a lot of service industry, whether it's food, hotel, transportation, whatever the hell it is. I'll give you a great example. I have a good friend who works in an area in the city where a lot of, a huge part of their business, right, is dependent on tourism. Well, when the world is boycotting you, do you think you're going to have a job? Because your services, there's not going to be any customers for your services. So whether you're cleaning hotels, whatever it is that you do, like being boycotted by the world, it's not favorable. Now, don't get me wrong. I am sure these individuals will be just, they're like, yes, it's all according to plan, not a problem. Sure. Now, I realize I'm being a little dramatic in this video. I do, and I want to add that to this because Pisces is very dramatic. It is very dramatic, but it will hopefully give you a sense. It's this false confidence, is this sense of false truths. It's a performance. I'm delivering a show for you, a performance. Is it convincing? That's the whole goal of Pisces energy, to be convincing. Tariff talk turning into tariff wars. You're going to pull tariffs on me. Guess what? Well, guess what? We can pull tariffs on you, right? Aquarius energy and Pluto, but that's not all. Pluto's at 3 degrees. So business, right? Business. We think stock market, we think trade, we think real estate, housing market. Anything where I can provide a service and you give me money. 3 degrees, communication, transportation, automobiles, local transportation, but also this is the supply chain as well. We think airlines, 3 degrees is local transportation, but Aquarius is I'm in the air. We're using technology for the advancement. And then of course drones and lots of powerful stuff with technology. When we think wars and we think um just inventions. Aquarius is inventions, but it's group energy, group energy. So we think of going back to the Uranus I showed you over here in Aries, to Aries degree anyway, still at 25 until the 25th, people gathering and protesting. And here in the chart, another strong protesting energy is Eris. I have not talked about Eris in a little bit of time, but she is right here. She is an upside down arrow, feminine energy, mad, angry, because it feels like it doesn't have a seat at the table. She's going to not stand still, you see? And she's all about protests, all about protests. And then you got Chiron at 23 degrees. This combination is strong because Chiron is about my wounds. Mars rules Aries. I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to sit still. I'm going to take action. If I'm not protesting, well, no wonder. People are like, we're not taking this shit. 23, revolutionary energies. I'm going to do something about this. This is bullshit, right? Rebelliousness. Absolutely. There's a time and a place for that kind of energy. There surely is. And hopefully we take it in a non-violent way. But I will say that just look at history. There's a time for the silent protest, and there's a time where that silent stuff, the people get to a point where the silent stuff doesn't work anymore. Pray that we never have to get to that point. However, some people already feel that they're there. So, Eris and Chiron in Aries, 23 and 25 this week, for this whole week. We're going to move over to Mercury. In this chart, Mercury is at 4 degrees. I know there's a lot of lines. Sorry. It's a little messy. Mercury right there, 4 degrees. Yeah, public emotions and feelings. So this Monday chart is pretty amped up. It's pretty amped up, but Mercury's going to move. She's going to end up moving, and she will end up being at 12 degrees in 7 days' time. Okay? 12. Now, we're going to move right back down here again. Because in Aquarius energy, Mercury is the mind and communications, and she's in Aries, so she's amped up. She's fired up. It's assertive communications. It's my mind, but I'm probably taking action. So it's very strong protest energy, right? But I came back down here because the partner to protest energy is Aquarius. It's group energy. So it's not just me by myself taking action. You see, it's me with my friends or finding like-minded people and taking action. It's a sextile. Aries energy is 60 degrees from Aquarius. And you see the moon just on this Monday. So this means the moon is here for, 2.5 days in Aquarius energy. The moon will get connected with Pallas Athena and Chiron. And while Pallas Athena and Chiron are slow movers, 19 and 21 degrees, they're squaring Uranus and Haumea, the money report card. Or I'm sorry, Hygeia, the money report card. Hygeia, right there. Conjunct, shocks and surprises, group energy, digital. This is an authority figure of the money. Might be like a Jerome Powell type of energy. I should have, well, I'll edit the video and I'll put in when they're supposed to have their meeting to declare whether they're doing an interest rate hold or whatnot. Those strategic group energies are squaring for this whole week, right? So this is where Jupiter comes into play this week. Jupiter is at 19 degrees. And I want you to see something. Jupiter stays here for this week. That 19 degrees is the Libra degree. That means it's partnerships, significant one-on-one partnerships. Can be private and it can be business and it can be both. Okay. Jupiter is having communications. So this would be whether it's members of Congress, because these are public figures, Jupiter energy. These are, again, are judges for sure, lawyers. I say Congress because there's, a lot of those people in the Senate for sure are lawyers. And there's talking, communication, and writing up bills, right? Proposing bills that they would like to have, legislating to get new laws passed type of stuff. We will see. Talking, writing, news, communication. Big, big, strong global energy. These are foreign partners. Foreign partners, right? I said partners, it's Jupiter, foreign partners, and they're talking. They're networking big time for supply chain, for suppliers. They're networking. And so that Saturn, the rules that have to do with our future, they're going to change. Okay. They're establishing rules right now. These are the rules that they're saying, hey, these are the rules that we want going forward. Okay. But because Venus has to finish her retrograde stuff, which means she has to get back to 10 degrees of Aries. The real rules won't be established until after that time. That does not happen this week. However, Venus gets to 29, a critical degree. She gets to a critical degree this week. Okay. And so her critical degree, because Venus is conjunct all of this right now at the beginning of this week, I am saying that from the 21st all the way to this energy, all this whole week, we should expect this kind of stuff because it's Venus, enough power to be triggering 29. Remember, billionaire degree, of course. Yeah, which is why we've got the oligarch energy. So when it came to all the firing of people, the illegal firing of eliminating departments, of firing people, which was Virgo jobs, by the way, essential jobs. There's going to be judges and judgments again, and then that's all going to be contested and going to go to the next court and to the next. So unfortunately, we're still on this yo-yo. We're still on a yo-yo of what's going on. However, the oligarchs, the owners, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Google, think of the biggie baddies in terms of companies. I think this is a meeting of all of them chiming in, saying, this isn't more than just rough. This is catastrophic. This is catastrophic. So I'm not going to pretend to know what they're talking about or to even pretend to give you, hey, they're going to say you got to end the tariffs. They might have words like that. Who the hell knows? Does it mean it'll matter? I don't know. I just know that they're going to have a say. We're going to have something to say about Pluto and Mars. Let's go take a peek. Let's go find. We know Pluto's at 3. The beginning of the week, Mars is at 133 conjunct Pandora's box. There is Pandora's box. Once opened, it unleashes all the evils of the world, and nothing is left but hope. Okay. That's not me making that up. I know it's extremely dramatic, but that's what it says in the software. Conjunct Mars, that sounds pretty horrible. Mars usually inflames things. Mars can be assertive, quite aggressive. It's in Leo energy. Something about Leo says I can make a joke about it. I can have fun, but it does love to take risks. Take risks with my body, mating, dating, relating, taking a risk with children. Mars can be the military. It's very assertive and impatient. And it's sporadic bursts of energy. But that's this strong opposition to Pluto. So the group energy in Pluto, whether it's people protesting, whether it's union type of energy, which means it doesn't have to be union like I belong to the welders union or I belong to the local whatever they're, yeah, I don't even know them all. Unionizing your energy. This can be on a lot of levels, but absolutely globally. I want to give you the date for the exact Venus at 29. And Venus enters Aries. Neptune and Venus will be conjunct. Now, I want to give you some information. If Venus is money and finances, okay, and banking and values, right? If that's what Venus is, and she gets conjunct Neptune. Okay, so we think institutional money, right? Because Neptune rules Pisces. Institutional money, finances going towards what? Weapons, possibly, for sure, because it's an Aries energy. Okay. And what else can this mean when Venus is conjunct Neptune? There can be something a little funny that goes on with the money and the values and the finances. So I know there was talk about, I don't want to say names. Yeah. There was talk about um, two individuals going to Fort Knox and going in there with the team and wanting to physically hands-on count all the gold held in United States reserves in Fort Knox. And this kind of makes me think of that. Like when I saw Venus is coming here, I'm thinking, oh my God. So it's getting a little funny. We're taking action with that. And we're going to be in there physically, hands-on counting. We don't care what the computer says. We want to see this. Is there going to be a little fudging of the numbers? I don't know when that's slated for, when they're supposed to do that, but I would not be surprised if somebody comes out and is like, oh, well, guess what? Somehow there'll be a different story. That's all I got to say. A new story, a different story, something that didn't jive because it's funny business going on when you mix Venus and Neptune together. It's when you have to be cautious not to let somebody to pull the wool over on you, on your eyes type of thing. You know, rose-colored glasses is Neptune energy, desires, money, and values. April 30th. Sorry, back this screen up. I want you to see the rectangle, the mystic rectangle. We've got the South Node in Virgo, 26. We have Juno, who's going backwards at 28, going backwards, headed towards 26. It's intense. It's partnerships with shared money, shared value. This is turf. We're fighting over turf energy, right? Old money, by the way. 26 is the North Node, Venus and Saturn at the other part of the mystic rectangle. You see that? And then, of course, Uranus with Hygeia at the other point of the mystic rectangle. And the other thing, too, on this mystic rectangle, Elgo doesn't move. It's a fixed star, and it's at 26 degrees to kick off this week. So Uranus and Elgo will be exact on the 25th. Okay. And the last time this happened wasn't that long ago. It was within the last year. We had those security breaches on the online stuff. There was a bad download or something. It affected my mom's cameras in her place. Major software company. There was like a major glitch. And so it just affected a lot of online stuff, security breaches across the board. So that's what happened last time. And it makes sense because it has to do with our values. It's in Taurus, your creature comforts. Remember, Taurus rules the five senses, the smells, the taste, the touch. what I can hear, what I can see. Having that Hygeia connected to that this week and a report card on values and shared values. We'll see. We'll see how this goes, but for the most part, the judges can give us some temporary hope, but because the higher ups, because these judges are pretty much not every single one of them the Supreme Court, but the majority, the five. That's all you need are five. The five are bought and paid for. So just want to keep it real. All right, guys, you got questions, comment below. Remember, I always, 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 always appreciate your time. And I will see you in your next video. Bye-bye. So Mercury, all clear after the 26th. You can make a decision now, a better informed decision.